Welcome into Fantasy AI. All right, welcome back to the computer room. Today we're going to look at rookie 1,000-yard receivers. How often do they happen? Who were they? Where are they drafted? I don't know. Let's take a look. All right, a little spoiler alert, 1.2 a year, looks like. But let's get started with the list here. First up, going all the way back to 2014, Kevin Benjamin had 1,000 yards. Was the 10th receiver finished that year. Was the 5th receiver taken that in the draft class. So be prepared. It's not always going to be that first or second wide receiver taken in the draft that ends up getting 1,000 yards their rookie year. Let's move on. Mike Evans, way back to 2014. He had was drafted the 2nd wide receiver that year. Finished 6th with 1,000 yards, 12 touchdowns. Just a great rookie year back then. He getting kind of old though, so you might want to keep that in mind when you look at him this next year after that big year. Odell Beckham, 2014, had 1,312 yards. Finished the wide receiver 3. So some of these in their rookie year can have an explosive first year and be in the top 5 receivers. See that? 12 touchdowns. He was drafted 3rd wide receiver that year out of LSU. Moving on. Amari Cooper was the 1st receiver drafted that year. Finished 15th among the, in the NFL his first year. Had 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns. All the way back to 2015 to get Amari Cooper was the 1,000-yarder. Michael Thomas had 1,000 yards in 2016. Had 1,137 yards to be exact, 9 touchdowns. Finished the 9th receiver overall that year. Was the 6th wide receiver taken in the draft out of Ohio State. So it's not always going to be that 1st and 2nd. That's what you're thinking. All right, here we go. Looking next is A.J. Brown came in as the 9th overall receiver in 2019 as a rookie. You can see that he was the 4th receiver drafted out of Mississippi that year. So, and 8 touchdowns he had for Tennessee. So that was a pretty good year for him. Moving on, let's see who's up. Justin Jefferson. In 2020 was his rookie year. Finished 8th overall at wide receiver. Was the 5th wide receiver in the draft there. Whew. 4 teams probably shaking their heads picking someone else that year, but LSU came from LSU. It was 1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns, 8th overall finish. You can see they get some pretty dang good finishes, some of these rookies. How about Jalen Waddle in 2021? Was the 2nd wide receiver in his draft class. Had 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns, finished the 20th wide receiver. So a little stretch there. But hey, 1,000 yards, in the top 20 wide receivers. So you're getting one every year, guys. Getting one of these rookies. Jamar Chase. In 2021 rookie, finished 3rd wide receiver. Here's one that's fresh in our mind. He blew up that rookie year. 1,455 yards, 13 touchdowns, which was teamed up with his rookie quarterback, or his college quarterback, Joe Burrow. Things were looking great for him there. But he was the 1st receiver drafted out of LSU that year. So he was the 1st in the wide receiver to go. So let's move on to the next year. How about Chris Olave in 22 at 1,000 yards? Ended up with 1,042, 4 touchdowns. Was a top 20 receiver. Was the 20th receiver. Was the 3rd drafted wide receiver that year out of Ohio State. So let's move on. Oh, another one in 2022 was Garrett Wilson. He was the 2nd wide receiver drafted that year. He out of Ohio State. He was the wide receiver, finished 19th, but he had 1,100 yards and 4 touchdowns in his rookie year. So, I mean, a top 20 finish that year for him. And let's move on to last year was Puka Nacua. He was 5th overall wide receiver as a rookie. 1,486 yards, 6 touchdowns, just went crazy. And the little hyphen here is he was the 20th wide receiver in his draft class. The 20th wide receiver in his draft class. So it's not always going to be that top guy, guys. All right, were you keeping track of all that? I was. Let's look at the tally sheet. We can see here where they came in, what they're, you see in here in wide receiver, what year, what they ranked, they were drafted. You only got like 2 on the board with the number 1s. So let's break that down even further. Here we go. You can see the most popular school with these first round 1,000-yard rookie receivers were LSU and Ohio State, Alabama. And does any of them come to mind here from LSU or Ohio State out of this draft class? And it pays off to be taking the second wide receiver. See, it isn't even the first wide receiver taken every year that's going to be there. You got some second rounds mixed in, 3rd rounders, 5th rounders. So, so we're concentrating on LSU and Ohio State. You'll have to look at my rookie video coming up to see which one of these has the most favored opportunity, but let's move on. Hey, if you're liking what you're seeing, please hit that like and subscribe button. Please hit that like and subscribe. Moving on. This is the portion where I like to fill my shorts. I'm going to fill my shorts. Warning, this is a quick look at 1,000-yard rookie receiver years. Kevin Benjamin in 2014 had a rookie 1,000 yards. So did Mike Evans in 2014. And Odell Beckham in 2014. Year for wide receivers. Amari Cooper in 2015 had 1,000 yards. Michael Thomas had 1,137 in 2016. A.J. Brown had 1,051 in 2019. Justin Jefferson explodes for 1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns in 2020. What a rookie year. Jalen Waddle had his 1,000 yards in 2021. Jamar Chase blew up as a rookie. 1,455 yards, 13 touchdowns that year out of LSU. Chris Olave had 1,000 yards in 2022. Garrett Wilson had 1,103 yards in 2022. And Puka Nacua had 1,486 yards, 6 touchdowns as a rookie, 20th drafted that year.